So what's better than free investing resources? Well, free food probably, but I can't be shooting burritos at you through the screen. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about 3 free resources that I personally use and love. And I use it for investing, looking at metrics, looking at charts, using it as a screener. So 3 websites: Yahoo Finance, macrotrends.net, and then finviz.com. So we're gonna go through each of those and kind of how I personally use it. And hopefully you can get some takeaways and use them yourself. So when it comes to the markets, my first go-to website, bread and butter, is Yahoo Finance, because you can see what's going on with the stock market through articles. You can track a portfolio by entering all of the ticker symbols. You can get financial metrics. You can get financials. It's just overall a really clean site. It has a lot of great utility, and it's all for free. So that first function I was talking about is creating a portfolio or multiple portfolios where it can have a different objective. One you can have for the stocks you own, one you could have for a watch list, doesn't matter. But when you have a portfolio, you can enter your ticker symbols here and then bring in any information that you want, whether it's earnings per share, the PEG ratio, whatever metric that you care about looking at, you can bring into that portfolio. Also, I use it when it comes to looking at individual stocks at a high level. So Intel, for instance, you can see the stock price, and then you can see these different metrics. So I use the statistics tab where you can see the price to sales ratio, PEG ratio, all this good stuff. They have the profit margins. Everything that you want to know related to financial metrics is pretty much summed up in the statistics tab. Another tab I use heavily is the financials tab. So you can look at all the financial statements in one place: income statement, balance sheet, cash flow. It's all aggregated for you, and it has prior year data. So you can look at it from an annual view, quarterly. It's honestly pretty great. And then to complement that, you can always go to the investor relations website for that stock to pull the latest 10Q or 10K if you want more details behind that financial statement, and then see the company's statements related to the numbers, whether that's guidance or even just comments on the results. Then we have macrotrends.net, which is really great when it comes to historical financial data. Because the one issue with Yahoo Finance or a lot of these other websites is it only has a couple years worth of data. So if you're looking at a company like Apple and you want to know the prior year's PE ratio, currently it's at 36.41, but maybe you want to see how it's trended over the years. You can see back in 2010, it's in the teens, and lately it's spiked up a huge amount related to the historical PE. This definitely gives you good insight for companies that have been around for a while, because you can look at the past and see kind of what multiple people were giving that company. Now, if the multiple expanded, you'd expect that the growth rates for that company have also expanded. So obviously you can't just look at the past and be like, oh, 17 PE, Apple's garbage. Well, maybe their earnings per share growth is expected to be higher now, which would be okay to have a higher multiple. And even if you want to pull more than price to sale ratios or profit margins, you can look at financial statements for years, right? This is going 2020 all the way to 2010. A lot of websites only go back a couple years, so you can really see a long-term trend in a company. Then you have finviz.com, which is my favorite screener for stocks. It's really easy to use, and you can also, once again, put in a portfolio. I use this website mostly for the screener that it has because, in my opinion, it's one of the best. You can literally go to a fundamental standpoint and say, I want only companies that have a low PEG ratio. And from a technical standpoint, I only want companies that are oversold, right? And you can filter across all of these different stocks in the stock market in about 10 seconds. And then even from a descriptive standpoint, you can say, I only want to look at large cap companies. And then if you click into Apple once again, it'll even have a chart with some suggested support lines, as well as all of these metrics down here that once again kind of matches with Yahoo Finance in terms of PEG ratios, return on equity, all this good information all in one spot through the screener. Also, it's great for the fact that you can enter a portfolio for free and still use the screener. So if you have a list of stocks that you own and you want to look at the technicals to see kind of where they're at, or even if you want to look at the charts for these companies to see, okay, which setups do you like the most, you can do that. Once again, all for free. I use these kind of as a base to make assumptions about a company, and then I'll dig in further into the 10Qs, 10Ks to see more of the meat behind it. But from a high level, this is kind of where you can say 30,000 foot view, okay, maybe these companies have some potential. Then you dig into it further, do your research, and then you could possibly find a new investment outside of what you currently own. So yeah, if you haven't checked out these awesome resources, go ahead and check them out. Like I said, these are the bread and butter websites I use for finding possibly new investments, as well as looking at my current investments from a high level. If you did enjoy this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm, as well as consider subscribing to Main Street Wolf, where we do talk stocks, investing, crypto, all that fun stuff. Thanks guys for watching, and have a great day.